What's up, New England and beyond, on this fabulous, hot, scorching Wednesday night in the Room podcast? Tommy Shayhood, man.
Man,
Dude,
pasa.
it's been a week and a half or so
A
since
whole
we've
week.
seen each other. A week. Has it been a week?
Did we
and a
do
half?
last week? No, we didn't
No,
do
we didn't do
last
last
week. So maybe 2 weeks.
Well,
Oh,
my friend,
we went out.
it was 4th of July week.
Right,
So,
that's why.
my friend, we need to catch up a little bit. Just out there, please share this and whatever you need to do. Give us a little support. Subscribe to the channel. Send it to your friends. There's a lot of stuff on here. So, with that said, we have Mike Polvere and Mr. the voice of Cage Titans, Andy Kurzontkowski, coming on at around 9 o'clock. They're going to be calling in together. Andy was going to come down, but he's not feeling that well. And I
Let him
watched
stay.
I watched Table Titans last night, and he was coughing and sneezing, and I was like, ooh, he's coming down tonight.
Yeah.
And then today he was like, dude, I feel like shit. He goes, can I call in? I'm like, yes,
Please
Andy.
do. Please
you
do.
can call in.
Thank you. And he's a good guy, and he's good. We're good to have in there, but
Well, I was gonna surprise you with his cough and sneezing, and
Oh, yeah.
shit like that.
Yes,
It's
surprise
'cause
us with some
He's
COVID.
sitting right fucking next to you, so you know what I mean.
we would have
That's how
shared
it
a
is.
tissue.
Well, here's the thing that goes on. I came here yesterday and I edited the show, getting it ready for today, and ready for 2 guests in here. Co-host and guest. And then, I got the cancellation that he's going to call in, so I had to come in and change a few things up. But the cool thing is, I've been doing it so long, it's not a hassle. You know what I
Be
mean?
natural for you to set the things up.
Yeah, it's just
So-
a couple of tweaks. I got to move a camera angle here and there, but basically the templates are already set. I just got to tweak them a little bit.
your
But
professional eye to see exactly what works out.
it's taken me a while to get there. And if I had a producer in here, I would be able to switch cameras like I'm gonna do right now for a couple of seconds. I go to handsome Tommy Shayhood over there, and then what else we got? We got the Instagram screen over there.
I'm looking like a
and,
scumbag these days with this beard. So.
No, it doesn't look all.
Someone called me a caveman today, so I was like, okay.
They don't know beards.
Well, they know.
man.
Yeah, he knows. He said, "Do you wash your car?" I said, "Fuck no, I don't wash my car." He said, "Look at this kid. He's a fucking caveman."
I never listen. I never washed my car until I bought this car. I mean, it's a fairly new car, so
Black, you need to.
I owe on it, so I got to wash it.
It drives better if it's clean.
Save gas
Yeah,
mileage and
exactly.
shit like that. So
I let the rain last night wash it. It's fucking sparkling up there.
dude.
Yeah.
Yesterday, right? So my guy's been on vacation as far as my mechanic guy changes my oil and shit. I only go to one guy. I've always went to him. So
Good, do it.
he's been on vacation. So I go yesterday, and you get a free car wash with the car. So I haven't washed the car in
One
fucking,
or every month? Or?
no, just whenever you get the oil change, they
Oh,
give you a
okay.
free car
You do
wash
do
with it. So I go in there, get my oil change, and then they give me the free car wash. I go in there, and I'm at work. Place is right next to work. So car gets cleaned, right? It looks fabulous. I park it at work, right? I come out, there's bird fucking shit all over it. My fault. I parked under a tree.
I always gotta watch that.
But I was,
That means it's good luck, right? Some say that.
well, yeah. No, I think if it shits on you, it's
Yeah.
good luck.
You know-
Shitting on your car, man, that's not like fucking
Pretty
luck.
common.
That's like you get hit a side of a barn.
And person who made that up is a fucking liar. He got shit on. He was doing something important, and he said, "Oh,
tried to
this is
be
good
po-
luck."
he tried to be
yeah,
positive
Must
with
be
the
good luck.
shit on his mouth.
Yeah, no, he's an asshole.
Dude, fucking, I've been with a couple of people got shit on. There's no luck in them. I think
No.
one of them died too. It's like-
That's where coronavirus came from.
Oh my god! So I have, but to get back at the rain. So I had shit on the car last night. It washed it all away. So I guess it was a little wax left on there from the wash, and it just slid all that.
I
Fucking,
park under trees too, and it's got that like oil shit from when it just drips down. It's
Yeah.
been super hot, so my car has been looking scrubby. But
So it's got like resin on it.
yeah,
at
he
this
looks
point.
like it. Looks like some tree resin. But it's clean now, thanks to Mother
Some get
Nature.
a lot of other resin inside.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's like that's on the
My
inside.
car,
of the
like
windows.
I can. That's why I get it washed.
Yeah, if you look in the little crevices of my car, you might find
fucking
Get 'em out.
roll a fucking
yeah, floor bud.
0.5 in that.
Yeah, that's what they call ground score.
Dude. Well, dude, last week, 4th of July.
Yeah.
What'd you
beautiful
do? You got a family, I know.
Yep,
and,
did the family thing. So 4th of July is funny in my family because my wife's birthday is the 30th, June 30th. So that's just a few days before. that weekend, that Friday, we went to Connecticut to go to a wedding. Had a blast hanging out by the Connecticut River. Bar, it was a really nice time. Every time I went up to the bar, I said, "Give me a beer and a JMO on the rocks." By the end of the night, the fucking lights were out.
That's it.
I didn't make an ass of myself, they tell me, but
So you drink beer here or
Yep.
something,
Yep,
but
drink beer.
out you're drinking Jameson on the
yeah,
rocks.
I like JMO on the rocks too. I never kick a whiskey out of bed,
That's one thing I do. I stick to beer.
Sure.
If somebody might buy a shot every so often, but I'll do one. You can call me a pussy after that. Hey, I'm
would
saving
never.
your money.
I would
I'm
never.
saving your fucking money.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'm toast. Like, dude, I can't.
Once hard liquor's involved, all bets are off.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
I'll just have to stick with that.
Sure.
But I'm not gonna have a great time because I'm gonna last maybe like an hour and a half.
Well, that's the thing with Irish whiskey like Jameson. That shit is smooth, not a lot of hangover. I mean, shit. I was toasted, but feeling fine in the morning. Didn't make an ass of myself. Wasn't being sloppy.
Do you sip it?
Sure.
Like savor
Yeah,
it like
yeah,
a cigar kind of thing, or
Sure. Yeah, I just sip that. This is the beer is the regular one, but I'll take a couple of sips of the whiskey in between them.
and just chill.
Yeah, I'm just chill. Exactly.
Put you in a more mellow kind of
a little warmth in the
a
belly.
little-
And it was
Dude,
hot.
I might switch after today.
Hey.
I might just pick one night and go have some. What are you drinking?
JMO that night.
Jame.
Yeah, Jameson.
Jame. And what's another smooth one? I thought I want to go with.
Redbreast is a good one.
And we're talking whiskey. Is
Yep.
this whiskey?
Yep.
All right.
What's that other one? Knob Creek is a bourbon. Different Irish. What's that one? I can't remember the fucking name. People are always comparing it to Jameson. It's off the tip.
Not only do we talk about weed in this place, we also talk about
Liquor too.
alcohol.
Sure, we could talk about all sorts of drugs.
Mushrooms,
Yeah, shit.
little mushrooms here and there. What did I see? I saw something on mushrooms recently.
New Netflix thing.
No, you can talk to that
There's
about.
that.
But,
I haven't seen it.
Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah.
He claimed he was on fucking mushrooms when he fought Jones.
Yep, I saw that fight.
Did he seem mushroomed?
Tyson always looks like he's on something. I don't know if I would really want to fight someone who was on mushrooms, especially if their name was Mike Tyson.
And he's been in the air in the past.
Yeah, 2 years, and he's raped people, and
He's raped people. Wait a minute.
I hope he doesn't see this.
He's been convicted of one rape. Tommy might
Yeah,
think there's
that's
a
what I'm
couple
talking
more.
about. That's what I'm talking
Yeah, but, well,
Allegedly,
I
allegedly. Let me
haven't-
cover my face.
There goes my fucking
Yeah,
Tyson
bleep
sponsor.
that out, bleep that out. We're
I
not
haven't
live, right?
I haven't heard rape mentioned in fucking Tyson's
Well,
Tyson's name in a while.
We call
dude.
that
fucking.
rape. We'll call that. We won't say the actual word.
Oh, I fucking
There's
love
no
it.
question that Mike Tyson's a scumbag. There, I'll fucking say it.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm, it is.
Good fighter.
Yeah.
Not a good ambassador for anything.
I'm sure. I mean, does he have a girlfriend or anything? We
Hope
never
not.
see him with
Hope
women.
not. I think he's married.
Is he?
Yeah, I got a couple kids, I think. Unfortunately, one of his children passed away a couple of years ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it
And we're
was-
talking mad shit about him.
Well-
Well, you are.
You, the bus driver over here. So I'll make you feel like an asshole. I think his daughter died in a treadmill accident. She was a young baby. Yeah, like a 2-year-old.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, got
I
caught
see.
up
They
in things
turned
like
out-
that.
Oh, okay, all right.
Nightmare. Poor bastard.
Fucking, it was one of those,
Freak
YouTube
accidents.
videos when some dude,
Yeah.
woman's running on it, flips
They
into
wipe
the-
out. Yeah, if you're a little kid.
Oh,
Forget it.
Jesus,
Yeah,
I can't.
Super
All right,
sad.
let's change the subject.
Change the subject. We'll drink to that.
Mike,
Cheers.
Mike, we're,
Love you, Mike.
you're more or less of a douchebag in Tommy's eyes right now.
What? Imagine if he sees this and comes and finds me.
Fucking see
He
this.
might.
Look, we
Someone
have
might
5
put him
people
onto
seeing
it.
this right now.
Yeah, right, he's one of 'em.
I fucking wish. So let's get back to what you were doing or something. What were you doing? Fucking,
Uh,
all right, the rain, all that. Like,
Yeah, we were
talked
away
about
for the
whiskey.
4th. Yeah, the 4th of July was a beautiful thing. On the 4th, by itself, low key. We did a lot. We came back on Sunday. 4th was on a Monday.
And then right back to. Did you take the week off from a little jiu-jitsu?
No,
or
no,
were you,
no. Monday on holidays we usually open it up for just like an open mat. All classes are kind of pushed aside, but there's a couple psychos who every holiday we go in around 9 or 10 and roll and have an open mat, and I went and did that, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I always see them on holidays.
Yep.
Like, hey, show up and
Yep,
like
yeah,
fucking.
usually 9:30. Whoever shows up, do it for a couple hours, take a picture so we can brag about it.
It's awesome. Who's fucking messaging me?
Mike Tyson.
Oh, Mike. I mean, Oh, it's 8:52. He's already saying they're ready.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Mike. All right. All right. Oh, let me just tell him 5 minutes. I'll tell him 5 minutes because I want to finish with you. It's been a week.
I know. I missed you, man. Last time we hung out was at no, it wasn't because we talked to Dion after that. I thought it was at CES, but then we had Dion.
Yeah, Dion was on before 4th of July. I was gonna have a podcast that Wednesday, but things fall through.
Yeah,
It
you
was 4th
again.
of July week.
Yep.
I was gonna do the Muay Thai lion fight
on Friday.
fight companion on Friday.
Yep.
The fight started at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I barely
geez.
got fucking out of work.
Yeah, 6:30.
I was like,
remember
yeah,
looking
I'm
it
like,
up.
fuck. I was on the beach. I said, I drove and I watched them fucking at Narragansett or Galilee. I went to see 'em.
That's way better than anything else. I was looking on the card and looking at tickets and looking at the time frame for all that. And like you said, I think the main event started at 6:30. So
Yeah, fucking
Friday,
nuts.
on Friday.
Well, they were doing it at the House of Blues, and the Red Sox Yankees
that's
were
right.
that night.
Yep.
And what's that game? Started 7.
Yeah.
So they wanted
doing that.
everyone. You know what I mean? They must have changed the times, like when the schedule. They figure it out
Sure.
because they get okay with the city and have the traffic and all that
It's
other
crazy
stuff.
in there with Sox, especially if it was Yankees. I mean, I would have loved to be down there for that, for the fights and the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I sure was a fucking madhouse.
yeah.
Good luck getting a beer or a sip of fucking whiskey. That
you're gonna
time,
have to
man.
go find a special bartender
warm
or
one off
something.
the fucking, the guy selling
Well,
them
the
on
thing
his
with
car.
the House of Blues is, right, first floor. I've seen a bunch of shows of the House of Rules, we'll call it, thrown out of there on my face a couple of times. That's for a different story. But everyone goes to the bar at the first floor, lines out the door, go a level up, 2 levels up. It's like 3 or 4 floors in there. No one's up there. That's the pro move right there. Go to the top floor, like a personal bar.
Yeah, no one wants to nosebleed. They
No.
fucking, yeah.
Yeah, you go up there and then come back down to your seats.
Kind of like sometimes the bad bathrooms are way up there too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep, and
Yeah,
then no
piss
one's
all
in
over
there.
The floor.
Oh,
You
yeah.
take a shit that you really
If you
don't
gotta go.
want to. That's like last resort kind
Sure,
of thing.
that's where you go. All the way
That's
upstairs.
worse than an outhouse. Them fucking some of those
Oh
bathrooms.
yeah, you have this piss, like an inch of piss on the floor.
It's
You're
fucking
splashing
awesome, isn't it?
around.
You fucking imagine wearing sandals and
Yeah,
shit
right,
like
we got
that.
the
Oh,
sandals
fuck.
right here. That would've been terrible.
Oh my!
Yep, that would've been
Yes,
terrible.
that would have been fucking.
I don't wear these to Boston though.
Instant fucking infection. Fucking.
I'd be doing jujitsu, so.
Oh yeah, you fucking.
Well,
yeah,
we
you
clean
got
up.
slices all
Yeah,
over
we don't
there.
piss all over each other. not a lot.
Oh my God! So we're gonna have Mike on,
Good.
Mike and Andy on in a couple of minutes. Have you ever met either one of these gentlemen?
No, but I've been to a couple of those events. I've chatted with Mike before on the internet. I wanted to come and do some work with him. I want to try to get on the Cage Titan staff.
Oh.
Hasn't worked out. I wanted to do cameras with them, but it just hasn't worked out. But I know those guys.
Nice. They're always looking for people
Yeah.
coming up. I mean, I own you right now, Tommy.
Right.
But
Okay, so if you can let me out. That just never worked out. I would love to do cameras because I got a background in film. So
well, Nick Haler and stuff like that. Talk to Mike
Absolutely.
about that, and they could probably get you in there.
and Brian, whenever
you know?
it works out.
Well, Brian's not working with them anymore. Brian has moved, as far as I know. I don't want to give away beans. I'll talk to Mike about that because Brian was he was really integral part of like promoting a lot of the doing a lot of shit as far as editing and stuff though. Fill that gap in. And last show, looked great. All this fucking shit they're putting out now. Rafi,
Yep.
who's from your gym, he does camera work for them. And
I
I
was
think
just rolling with him the other day.
I think he's the one that actually did their like minute promo that came out after, like that really nice one with the the speech and shit like that.
Good.
So yeah, he does great work.
Talent over there.
So maybe he's gonna step up and do that. But
Good.
all
He was choking me out the other day too. Rafi got me in a triangle.
Yeah, he's and he's very polite about it.
Nice kid.
All right, I'm gonna give these guys a call now, and then we'll get everything situated. Because I got to use a different screen and all that other fucking shit. But let me tell him I'm calling now. Calling now.
Live
They had
radio,
enough
ladies.
of us. Tommy, we'll talk after.
Hey.
We'll talk a little bit. We were on a roll.
It was good. Me and you got a good thing going.
All right, so let me. I'll wait until he sees it. All right. All right, let's see what happens here. I can usually. Who's this first? One of them. Hey, there's Andy first. What's up, my man?
What's happening, Domenico?
Oh, there's the boss. All right, you're up over here. They're up over there, Tommy.
Cool. What's up, guys?
Hey, guys, I got like 4 cameras in here, but you guys happen to be on that one, so we're probably not going to be looking at you while we're talking.
Right.
But I'm gonna get you on the screen right now. And there you are. I just got to make it look a little prettier, and then we're good to
Are we
go.
on YouTube?
Yeah, we're on YouTube, Mike, and I'll take a clip and put this on Facebook tomorrow and stuff like that. But yeah, we're good to go now.
We're good to go?
Yeah, we're
Hold
on.
Let me plug my laptop in. It might be better for me to plug my laptop in. 'Cause
Hey,
I don't know if
hey, Andy. Hey, no, all right. Whatever you want to do, just you'll link right back in. If we'll talk to if you hang up here. Oh, you're gonna stay on
Yeah,
this.
well, if I hang up here, once I get the message going on the laptop, I'll be able to log right on into the call. So,
All right,
yeah,
do your thing, my man.
Steve,
as they go.
is it the room? YouTube, the room?
Yes.
No, it's New England MMA YouTube.
All right.
It's our YouTube channel. It's just this is on it. This will be on the live. If
All right.
if they go to like your Cage Titans, I have different categories.
Ah, I see it.
Oh, yeah. Hey, there he is right there.
Perfect.
All right, let me fix this shit right here because I'm getting
Wow,
aggravated.
man, that's a great setup, Steve. How far you've come in the time we've been friends, man.
Dude, as you're speaking, I'm over here panicking because I can't get anything.
What do
All
you
right.
mean? It looks great.
All right,
It looks great.
Mike, can you lend me a fucking producer, please, over here?
That's me.
Hard to
I
find,
can't
yeah,
lend
right.
myself anymore.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Mike. Yesterday on Table Titans, did you do the editing and all the switching of the cameras and the call-ins and stuff like that, or did Andy do that?
That was me.
Dude,
Nice.
it's like a fucking juggling act, is it not? Fucking doing that shit.
When you're the hostess with the mostest, it's not hard, right?
Yeah, it's definitely something. But hey, I just for you, Steve, I'm kind of disappointed. I only see water on your table.
Let me try the
All right. For tonight, they say know the crowd you're with. It's not a beer, but I do have a Fisher Island lemonade, 9% alcohol. I have a drink because I knew I was going to be on the podcast with the room.
All right.
And
With that, I'm gonna open
We're
it.
not-
I'm
we're not
opening a
live,
new one.
right?
We are
Huh?
live.
We are
Know
live.
the show you're on. Guess what I got with me, Steve?
What do you have?
That
Um,
Mike doesn't.
What is he?
no.
What does he have? Hey, we're live. You do whatever the fuck you want. No, Mike's like, no.
We're not
This is,
live right now?
we're live right now, brother. You been
Oh,
live.
jeez.
A little bit of THC something or other.
What do you think? We just look at what do you got over there?
I got a beer. I got this. I don't know.
Andy,
Down East pineapple
Hey,
cider.
There
Andy,
you
do
go.
me a do me a favor. Are you on your phone? Turn it sideways, because
Yeah.
you'll show up big. Oh, there
There
he
we
is. There he is. Perfect, my fucking man. Hey, Mike, dude. I watched your podcast yesterday. Really good shit, man. It was a marathon. You got your fucking. It was a marathon. What, like 2 hours of recapping the whole Cage Titans 54.
Whew, that was a lot of work. And I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit today. But I just got breaking news for you, Steve. I just made it right now. Andy doesn't even know about it.
Here we go.
Love this.
I fucking love
Cage
that.
Titans 55, August 27th. Tyler Smythe, the new flyweight champ, is going to 35 to take on Arthur Mapofu. 35
Yeah.
pounds.
No shit.
You heard it first.
There you go.
No.
Heard it here.
shit.
I kid you not. I'll tell you right now, 8:45. Oh, where'd you go?
Who?
There you go. 8:45 is my last message, and that's when I made that fight. So,
Right.
literally 15 minutes ago, I
Right.
haven't even got a chance to tell anybody. You are the first to know.
We got the beans there.
Breaking
We got the beans.
news.
Hey, Mike.
Talk about spilling the beans.
Hey, Mike.
That's an old school bean spill.
How does a bean spill?
Hey,
No,
Mike.
know the audience, and I know where I'm at.
Hey, Mike. Just to change, I don't know if you've met Tommy yet. He said he spoke to you briefly online at one time, but Tommy's been on. He's my co-host on Wednesday nights now. He's been in there like 3 or 4 weeks now.
Yeah, more like 6
and,
weeks.
What?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah,
He's
man.
counting like
Yeah,
so.
man.
He's fucking into it. So I definitely needed someone to bounce shit off to, and to kind of slap me in the head every so often. And he's getting good at it.
Appreciate
I would
you.
imagine. But why don't you say hi to the folks?
What's up,
here?
boys?
What's going on, man?
How we doing?
Tommy,
Nice to
I
see you.
actually trained with one of our guys, Richie Santiago,
Oh, yeah.
down at Triforce.
Oh, yeah,
So I've seen you in a couple of photos.
Oh yeah, yeah. We got Deshaun. I was just talking with him today. He had a good one the other day. Dion, a lot of these guys. have a lot of good shows at Cage Titans, and I've been to a couple as well. So keep them coming, and people love that shit in the state.
All right, man. Appreciate it. And it's nice to
Tom
see
was
that
great
into the
too,
sport.
starting the show off.
Hey, well, Mike, man, when I saw you at the show, and it's usual Mike Polvere, you're running around like crazy, but dude, this was something different, man. You were drenched in sweat, like literally dripping, like it looked like you just got out of the shower, and you just had this look of like, just go, 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 go. And you were like, with that, you were talking about the whole new rig of lights that, you had to get up there, man. I just got to commend you, dude. That fucking place was incredible. I mean, the past, it's been off the hook, but that was another level, what you did, Saturday night at Cage Titans 54, man. Talk about what you had to go through to get that shit up in the air there and getting going.
Yeah. So, this was something so we did that combo show at CES probably five years ago, plus years ago. And we had that lighting rig, and we brought it in because that was what the TV crew, it was mandatory that you had that type of certain lights for the TV show. Ever since we did that, it was like, man, and Andy can attest to it. I've always been talking about this light rig that was just like, what I want. That was my next big thing. And we came back from COVID, and we did 9 shows, and I just been squirreling away money every time. And, and we don't have big investors. We don't have Fight Pass deals. This stuff is bootstrapped by us, and really it's all the people that are part of Cage Titans. Like, the reason why we're able to save up money and do what we do, because a lot of us do this just out of the goodness of our heart for free, so that we're able, because that, to be able to progress this sport. So, this lighting rig has been a dream of mine for a while. And I thought July 4th weekend, America, hometown, all that stuff we were talking about, it was a perfect opportunity. Phil Grenier, who's been with me 10 years now, he said, admittedly, he's always been pushing it off because he knew how much work it would be. And finally, for this show, he's like, let's just do it. And why you saw me drenched in sweat, I guess the long and the short of it is, it was supposed to be in on Wednesday.
Feel like you didn't see his underwear.
Hey, it's lucky there's a shower back there, because Mike takes like 3 or 4 of them during a fucking show.
I did shower back there, but the stress was I didn't want to tell anybody, because I didn't want to, in case it didn't come to fruition. And it was supposed to be here Wednesday from California, then it was supposed to be here Thursday, then Friday it's stuck in Pennsylvania before it got to Avon, Mass. And the whole time I'm on the phone with these people, and they're like, we'll see what happens. If it's not in, it's not in. And I'm like, I don't accept that. I called Pennsylvania, and I was like, what is it going to take to get this on the next shipment? I got them on board. Avon didn't know that I called them. I got back on the phone with Avon. It was like, they started giving me I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm like, nope, I already talked to Pennsylvania. They're already doing me a favor. The Avon lady, I got her on board. And then finally Friday comes and it doesn't show. And it's going to come Friday night. And she's like, we're closed for the long weekend. There's really nothing we can do. You're going to get it on Tuesday. And I'm like, terrible. Listen, whatever it takes, you got a janitor that will let me in on the docks to get this lighting rig. And after a little schmoozing, come to find out the lady that was running the phone, she's from East Bridgewater. My mom lived in East Bridgewater. She was at Hibachi in Plymouth. And then she's like, I know Plymouth Memorial Hall. So I'm on the phone doing my thing, just talking. And finally she goes, give me a second. I'll be right back. She went to the owner of the company and said, hey, explain the situation. He goes, we have an overnight cleaner that cleans from Friday night to Saturday morning. If it shows up, we'll get him the manifest. We'll show him what truck it is, and we'll let him pull it off the truck for you. So I got the call. I will tell you, I was up all night hitting refresh on my phone. And finally at like 10:14, I get the call. It's there in Avon.
That's clutch.
Everybody was like, dude, just give it up. We're not pulling it off. It's Saturday.
Yeah, because now you have it. You pulled out a miracle and got it. Now you're going to build the fucking thing.
Well, no, I have
just he'll never say, but I thought on more than 2 or 3 occasions that Michael Polvere was going to have a heart attack. Putting those lighting tips up. It was
So now I have to get to Avon, and the guy's like, I'm only there until I think it was 12. And my lighting guy, Phil, was like, you got to get all the way to Avon, 4th of July weekend traffic, get back here and get this erected. And I'm like, 1 o'clock. I said, give me to 1. If I don't have it up here and in this back into this building by 1 o'clock, fine, we'll scrap it. I think like
12:58 rolls through.
yeah, 11:45. I come in on 2 wheels with the trailer full of lighting truss, and me and Tyler Pimentel. The crew was standing outside waiting for us, and I kid you not, it's like a crew of 12 standing there waiting for us to pull out. Box cutters start opening everything up. We're training it into Memorial Hall, and as Andy said, it was actually 12:56. We had the first piece done, and I looked at my lighting rig and I go, 4 minutes to spare. And he goes, motherfucker, I never thought you were gonna do this. Now, again, I'm sorry that I talk forever, but this is a crazy story. Like, now we have no clue how to get it up in the air. Because, like, as you saw, that was 20 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure this out now. We're like, all right, we got it here. Now what the fuck do we do with it? Like, it's like...
You got to rig it.
We were so excited. Like, I think the joke...
You've got 2 monsters pumping through your veins, operating a crane jack, sweating 8 different colors.
Dude, it takes me a half hour just to put up.
Like, boss, take a breather, and you're like, fuck you, I gotta do it.
So
breathe when you're dead.
So you had to get them the wires or whatever that hold it up to the ceiling and shit.
So basically, we had the piece of truss made. Phil started stringing the lights on the ground, and then we made there were 2 10-foot sections for each leg. So we put 2 10-foot sections together, and then we kind of like a ladder, a fire department ladder. Stood up one totem pole.
Resourceful.
Then we stood up another totem pole. Then we got the 2 crank lifts that put the piece up and connect it. And we had to do that on all 4 sides. It was scary as shit.
Hey, Mike. Question: was anyone taking?
Not watch this podcast.
was anyone taking footage of this while you guys were putting this up?
I will say that I was pretty adamant that what happened in Memorial Hall that day stays.
Right. I understand. Andy's like, well, we know, Mike, you didn't want to have a heart attack on film and stuff like that. Andy said you had almost 4 of them. So
yeah, like Andy said, we don't want an OSHA violation.
Yeah, I was like, lock the fucking doors, don't let anybody in here.
I'm sure. And fucking Tommy says,
that, like, security people that were showing up. It was like their first time doing security at the event. Oh, yeah. They're showing up on time the way they're supposed to. And you're looking at me like, who is that guy? I'm like, I don't know, boss. He's like the new security guy. I'm like, get him the fuck out of here.
Like when we were training jujitsu during COVID.
He can't see any of this. He can't, nothing. This doesn't go out of this room. Yeah, like you said, we don't want any of that film.
No, yeah.
Fucking
off
I
record.
do have like little snippets that I did like film of us getting it, which is pretty cool. We pulled it off, I think, by like the doors for the fighters had to open at 4, and I want to say like 20 minutes to 4, we had the whole thing up in the air and we were ready to roll. It was pretty cool to kind of pull off. And then now the pressure was on Phil, because this is the first time we used this. He's got to go program all these lights to get him to do all the funky, cool stuff that you guys got to see. So
lighting is
key. Man, it was an intense day. I'll share with you a couple little ones. I'm sending you a couple videos, Steve, of the behind the scenes. But it was definitely fun. And we pulled it off, and it was so important. I told the fighters ahead of time, why this was their blood, sweat, tears, hard work. This truly was them. Like, this wasn't just something that we went on a whim. Like, for the past 9 shows, the past 9 years we've been doing these events in COVID, this was like the fruits of our labor. This was symbolic of us returning, all the hard work, all the sweat the fighters put in, like the fact that we never thought we were going to be here again. All that kind of was symbolized in that trust. Like, we got it. Very similar to when I bought the cage. Like, we used to rent the cage for the first 5-6 years, and then we had an amazing year. And I was like, you know what? As a thank you to all of our fighters, I'm buying this cage for you guys. And this is all like everybody that's ever fought for us could sign that cage because it's all came to fruition because of those guys who sweat in there, bled in there, all the hard work they put in.
Mike's sending me like 100 fucking things over this. Stop sending me shit on this fucking.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done sending you.
Hey,
but
dude, like I said, as far as what you could see in the comparison, I mean, in your eyes, Mike, I mean, you know, as far as what these lights did for you, man, explain what you saw when they were in like full effect. Like, what was the difference between not having them and having them? I mean, to me, it was night and day. I mean, you guys looked like it was amazing. The stream looking and everything was just, it was crazy, crazy crisp.
Yep, the brightness was great.
Yeah, you know, and you know, Andy could talk about how it made him feel in the cage, and I'm assuming that inside the cage, like, this is professional lighting. Like, you know, I always felt that our show was, you know, second to none as a live show, the venue and all that stuff. But I always kind of had like those work lights on the cage just kind of, I felt held us back, like made us look like the local promotion. You know, it didn't have that big show feel, though the venue was amazing. You know, the sound is amazing. All the stuff that we did, I just felt that we were held back a little bit by that work light feel on the cage. So it for me, it increased the stream. So many people came up to me and was like, Mike, I know you couldn't get the pay-per-view working, but the stream was better than you ever had. They don't know that it looked better than it ever did before because we had the new lighting rig. You know, they all thought that it was.
Uh-oh. I don't think I lost him. Hold on. Yeah, I lost him for a second. I can call him back. Yeah, they just froze.
Well, since he got cut off, I'll say that when you're broadcasting anything with video, lighting is so important. It'll tank your whole situation. So the fact that that lighting was working well, it really was looking crisp when they were broadcasting. I didn't see a pay-per-view, but I saw some.
It's weird. Oh, all right. So redial. I think it just disconnected. So we'll get him back on here. Here we go.
Gabriella Dolphin. There he is.
Hey guys, yeah, dude, you cut off when you were talking about the lighting and stuff like that. What were they ended up with, Tommy?
They were just talking about how people were mentioning to them.
And like how
good.
Andy looked and stuff like that. What the hell is that? All right, let me get that off.
Yeah, I saw you watching the Gabriella Dolphin dancing video. That was the last thing I saw.
Oh, all right. I had your Instagram on. I was showing fucking. I don't know if that kind of disrupted the feed or something like that.
Yeah, I could see you playing Gabby dancing, which was amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna show a bunch of shit, but I don't want to fuck up your stream. I might have screwed up the stream or something.
I see your Instagram on the YouTube right now. I know the YouTube's a little delayed. But...
Yeah, let me see if I'll throw it on again. I'm gonna throw it on again because it's important. I want to see some of that shit on there. I want to show the cage and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it was, and I think the fighters and Andy can attest, like he was talking about, I think when you got cut off, is the
from in the cage and from the monitor that I was watching cage side, the lights made that much of a difference. And I like just to piggyback on what you said, that first show that we did, the combo cover CES, that was when we had the last lighting rig, and that was my first show commentating. So it's been that many years since we've had that addition to the production, and I think it took it to the next level in terms of the video quality for everybody to experience at home, and for my money, just as well on the live show. I thought everybody could see the cage even that much clearer. It was pretty neat. It was pretty neat knowing how much went into putting that up on fight night. So it made it that much more worth it, that much more sweet when you go back and watch the footage and how well it's lit and making the cameras do less work. It was pretty badass.
Yeah, we're watching it right now. Giannetti's walk out. From the path walking out to getting to the cage entrance, man, it looks fucking dynamite, guys. The lights in the cage, you could see all the different kind of textures and colors and
purples and greens.
Dude, man, Andy, you are a superstar. You must have felt like one with those lights. Andy, you got to sing the national anthem. Man, you had a busy night too, bro.
Every Cage Titans weekend is a busy weekend. There's a lot that goes in the day before, the day of, and it's, like like Mike said, it all goes towards the fighters. It's whatever needs to get done. And yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate the feedback. It was a busy weekend, a lot of fights and a lot of homework getting done. But as always, they deliver, and that's who it's for. You know, it's for them, and without them, it ain't worth anything. So,
Steven, I'm not sure if you caught yesterday. That was Andy on about 5 seconds worth of notice. It was Andy. Get the F in the cage. We gotta go, and we can't get the video to play. And he just went in there and belted it out. And you know, Andy is such a treat to have as part of the team. You know, not only is he passionate about the fighters and the sport, you know, he's a guy that anything that needs to be done doesn't matter. You know, he doesn't care. You know, he'll slap him on the back. He'll get in there and sing. We were talking the other day. You know, we're washing blood off canvases. You know, we're cleaning the gloves. A lot of times, you know, Andy. And a lot of the guys on the staff are like, we're doing the non-glorious stuff behind the scenes. And you know, I'll say it now, but it's not something that any of these guys brag about because we know that the brand and the fighters are the most important. It's not about us. Though, you know, sometimes we have to come and do our part and do the promotion part. But it's really about those fighters and making sure we do everything in our power to give them the best stage possible. And you know, not for a minute, I'm not going to pretend that like there's not other promotions that have lighting rigs. By all means, you know, you can go to CES and see lighting rigs. Combat FC did a show when they had lighting rigs. You know, it's not anything. You know, we're not reinventing the wheel. You know, but for a local show, you know, we're building this off of our backs, much like our fighters and their journeys, like. I'm sure if you could wave a magic wand and give them all the martial arts skills in the world, they'd probably be like, nah, it's about the journey. And that's really what we're on. We're in a parallel journey with all these fighters. Like we were fighters ourselves, but you know, we're learning and growing in every step of the way. We're taking our bumps on the way, just like these fighters. We're learning from losses, and we're growing every time we step out there. No matter how many shows we've done, we've been around for 12 years. My motto way back in my early days of business was just because you did something yesterday and it was successful doesn't mean you shouldn't try to improve on it tomorrow. Whether you did it a year ago, a day ago, an hour ago, doesn't matter. If you did something and it was successful, still look to improve upon it. And that's what we do every time we go out. And that's our promise to everybody.
Excellent, my
good,
man.
Better, best.
That's a good mantra.
Until your good is better and your better is best.
There you go, Andy.
Good mantras,
Andy,
guys.
my man. Awesome.
Andy, did you know all the words to that? Did you know all the words to the national anthem?
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's tough.
I got beer on my shirt.
Well, I have to say, Andy has sung the national anthem in the past and done a fabulous job. As Mike was saying yesterday when on the Table Titans, Andy didn't get to practice, you know, do his vocals or anything. He just went in there dry and he belted it out, man. That's balls of steel right there. And that's confidence. Hey, I'm getting out there. I'm going to throw it out there, and I'm doing it for the good of the company. And you did it, my man. And it started off a fucking great show. From the first fight to the last fucking fight. That was a great show, Mike. Congratulations on, I mean, you got, you know, matchups galore coming up, you know, in August. You know, I didn't know that you were having another card in August until I watched Table Titans yesterday. You know, I was hoping it was earlier than, you know, later. August 27th, I'm thinking, right?
Yes, August 27th. So we originally were going back to our 10-week schedule. After that back-to-back February show, we were like, all right, you know what? We kind of corrected the market that was, you know, no fights. So we were like, go. If people wanted to fight, we would just throw a show together and get them opportunities to fight. Like we weren't going to just sit on, you know, like do a show every other month. We wanted to give these guys a chance to make up for lost time. So after that, we did the day-night doubleheader in November. Then we started 2022 off with 2 shows in February. We kind of were like, all right, let's get back to our regular schedule. So we went to the April 4th. And then we went back 10 weeks and we went to June 4th. And then it was supposed to be 10 weeks to August. And then we had so many fighters that wanted to fight. We said, screw it, we got to put a July show. And that's what we did. But we're going to probably try to mellow a little bit back out. I think we've kind of corrected the market. We got all the guys that were chomping at the bit that needed back-to-back fights. We kind of got those out of the way. the market's kind of reset itself. We're going to try to go back to our 10-week schedule where August 27th would have been 10 weeks prior to the June 4th. And then 10 weeks after that, October 29th will be the next show.
Hey, you're in demand, bro. What are you gonna do? You got to give them what they want, bro.
Yeah,
we're gonna ease back until you get another 30 fights made for August, and then I've heard that before, boss.
Well, just to give an example, I already have
double header coming up.
I got 27 amateurs that I'm trying to match for August 27th already.
They'll work too.
I've heard that before, boss.
Double
Steve,
header.
you know what I was talking about? You know, the progression, and every time you come out, and as I sit here with you today, you know, we've been friends for a long time, and just to see your podcast grow, like, you know, you have to feel that same way about yourself, like. Every time you do a show, I see you're bootstrapping this just like we are, like, and just like these fighters in their fight careers, like you're buying microphones. You don't have some fancy sponsor buying you or paying your rent for the room or anything like that. This is all stuff that you're doing, and you know, I can relate to what you're doing and show a deep appreciation. You know, you're building something from the ground up, and that's something not a lot of people can do. So hats off to you. I'm not just kissing your ass because you're on the show. I don't have to be nice if I don't want to be.
You
but
swear.
I do. You know, I do appreciate it because I'm looking back to when the last time I was on your show, and you're already stepped up from there. I remember the show before that, and the show before that, and it's like, holy shit, look at you now. You got a co-host. You got all this equipment. You got multiple cameras. Things are just growing.
Yeah,
get me as producer. Get me.
Get back down the studio soon. It looks like you've added so much the last time we were down there. You even been there in person yet, Polvere?
No, he hasn't. You guys would, Andy. You've been here along with so many other fighters. You'd have a ball in here. You know what I mean? It's as far as just it's cozy. It's like you know, Fortress of Solitude kind of. Hey, Mike. It's kind of like when you guys were building the rig for the lights. What happens in the room stays in the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except it gets broadcasted.
With you tonight, Steve. I think you guys have I've seen you in the smoke-offs. I heard the infamous smoke-offs. You know, I'd be a spectator. I'm not a dad.
Hey, Mike.
I ain't good.
Hey, all right,
Mike,
come on in, Andy.
Hey, listen, I had to tone down. I think it was one and done with the smoke-offs. I got my ass kicked. You know, we had that one and done. I got my ass kicked by the main guys, fucking Bagley and all them fucking guys. I thought I was the king shit. I ain't nothing.
So where's the
them guys
smoke-off?
put me in a friggin' coma. I was like done tapping.
You have to let me get a crack at it.
Yeah, Tommy wants a piece of that. Yeah, well, you can have the second one. You can you know, go there.
Do it.
But yeah, it was you know, Cage Titans is always a fun time going there. And you know, Mike, you spoke about the podcast. Like, I've been kind of skipping shows here and there, you know, family and work and stuff like that. Been scaling back a little bit to try to get this thing going and perfect this and put more time into it. And now it's kind of rolling. You know, I'm getting more shows. I bought a new camera to do interviews and stuff like that. So once I get settled in with that stuff, you know, you know, I'm hoping to have some more creative kind of content on the fly, you know, at the shows. You know, jump back in your back room here and there. You know, I'm just learning all that shit now, just trying to, you know, raise the bar in what I have for equipment on the road. So, you know, I'm going to be at all the shows from, you know, now on moving forward, because I'm firing on, you know, almost all cylinders. I got a couple more to tweak with, but like you said, it's never ending. We're always adding something, new bling or something to make your job a little easier sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's funny. We all try to make our jobs a little easier. And Andy and I said this after the last show. It's like, we've done 55 plus of these. If you add the combat nights, that's 3 more, you know, 57. We did a combo card, 58, like whatever the number is. It's like, don't you think would be getting easier? But what we do inherently, because we strive to keep raising that bar, we make it harder on ourselves every time. In theory, it should be easier the more you do, because it's repetitions and like, man, this is nothing. But we just keep throwing more on our plates.
You always want to step it up.
And it's like, wait a minute, it's not any easier. We just, every time we think it's going to be easier, we throw 5 more things onto ourselves and we just bust it out and make it even harder.
And, you know, people don't see that behind the scenes. They see the finished product, which comes out outstanding. But you just don't flick a switch and that happens. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into setting it up, and then the fighters and all the personnel that contribute that night make it all possible to keep the next show.
Coaches, the corners.
Yeah, keep evolving, man. It's fucking great, good stuff, man. It's fucking good.
Yeah, and I'd love to see you doing, your things at the show, because that's an integral part of the fighter development as well. Whether people want to see it at the very beginning or not, I can tell you firsthand. I've brought fighters out to the UFC, Contender Series, things like that, and some of the UFC people are like, "Oh wow, they're pretty polished in front of the camera," and I'm like, "Well, we make them interview. Like after they win their fights, we bring them to an interview room, just like they get that happens in the UFC, And that was something I brought back from cornering a couple guys in the UFC. It was like, it's important to get these repetitions in for these fighters, because if this is going to be a career, they're going to need to have that mic time, and it definitely gets noticed when you get to the next level. And then Andy brought up a great point I never even thought about. Yesterday we had Carlos Bellis there calling, and he was just so fluid and comfortable and talking on the mic and on the camera. And Andy's like, these are skills that this kid could bring to a job interview down the line, other facets of life. So, there are parallels with this sport and what you learn in it in other areas of your life. And, I've never thought of it that way, but Andy brought up a great point with that kid. It's like, he's an 18-year-old kid. He's sitting there after his first win, and here he is on a podcast talking like it ain't no big deal. And, I'm thinking, hey, this will help him later on in his fight career. But Andy's like, dude, he's so comfortable. Like, imagine him in a job interview. He's not a normal 18-year-old kid stuttering on his words. And, think guys like you who are doing these interviews for these fighters, whether they know it or not, it's repetitions, just as important as inside the cage, the entertainment factor. So many good things come out of it.
Yeah, and it's great.
I love the saying that it's sometimes, in a lot of cases, it takes longer to get a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu than it does to get a doctorate degree. So giving kids a platform that, might be tailored down this fight path, whatever roads it leads them to, whatever goals it brings them to. It's those speaking skills and whatnot. Those are the intangible things that a lot of people don't even relate to the fight game whatsoever, but it is an integral part of growing and developing as an athlete and as a public figure at the end of the day. So
they're just like the techniques that they learn in their classes every day at their martial arts. It's the speaking, and it's the interviews, and it's the promoting themselves. It's extra important.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then what do they take this platform they got, and then how do they segue that into other aspects of their life? We're not all going to be fighters for the rest of our lives. Whether we might be internally. Andy and I talk about this all the time. He's like, we're a company based on, like, we're fighters, and we're not businessmen that got into the fight business. We're fighters who were somewhat businessmen as well, who are in the fight business. So we're fighting tooth and nail. So I think that's another important aspect. We're not going to be fighters in a cage for our entire careers. How do we use the platform that we have to segue into other areas of life, and what type of crossovers they are? That's something that's hit me a lot in the last few years of Cage Titans, because I've seen guys who started fighting with me as a 20-year-old kid, and now here they are, a 33-year-old man. And it's like, all right, how are they using some of these skills that they've learned to better themselves as they tail down their careers? Whether, and it doesn't have to be just the normal, like, oh, did they open up a fight gym? Are they personal trainers? There's other things they could be doing. So yeah. Anywho, I digress.
They have a lot of stories, a lot of great stuff coming out of these kids, man.
Personality.
How they got to to where they are. You got these other guys, these professionals and stuff. People don't know their past. I think we're bringing up the new generation of fighters as far as, local media and stuff like that. Getting these kids known earlier than later, as far as, how they got into fighting. Some of them, are in recovery. They joined a gym.
Ex-military.
They found a family there, as far as, the atmosphere. And then, they're doing incredible. And now they're fighting for a living. So there's a lot of stories out there. These aren't Conor McGregor fucking, hype guys, but they have really important stories that the local community who go and watch them would really appreciate, and help support them into the next fight and watch their career grow as you see them, later down, after they get done fighting what they're doing. I mean, you have a lot of fighters that fought for you for years and years and years who are, basically not fighting, haven't retired, but are doing very well successfully outside of fighting for Cage Titans because what they got from Cage Titans all those years fighting for you. I mean, it's just not a fighting promotion, guys. You guys are like a fucking family. You guys worry about each other,
Yeah, you bring up some great points. One thing that I always like to touch upon is like who these people are outside of the cage. We're all human beings outside the cage. We walk in other aspects of life, and getting these stories out about these guys, I might not know Brody McDougal. I use him as an example. Connor Barry. But I found out they were both hockey players. And immediately I was like, dude, I played hockey my whole life. I played high school hockey. I was a starting goalie. I played junior hockey. I'm like, all right, cool. I can relate to these guys.
I like these guys.
And, that's something that people might not know. And then there might be somebody else just like me that's like, oh, wow, that guy's a hockey player.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how a hockey player will do that. Or we have people that are teachers, and it's like, holy shit, that guy's a teacher and he fights? And it's like, yeah, like these are just not derelicts who want to just get in the cage and beat the shit out of each other. These are athletes that this sport is an avenue for them to, just like a pickup game of basketball. It's like, hey man, let's go. It seems weird to the normal, but it is normal for us. So I think it's important getting those stories out, getting the words out. And just some things like that with professions or past sports they come from, people can relate to it. Or people that are going through internal turmoil. You brought up people who are going through recovery who found this sport to help them get out of recovery, to give them with their recovery, to give them something to focus on. And somebody's like, shit, I'm struggling with addiction. I see this guy and he's doing well and he found MMA to help him get over it. Maybe I should look into this. And you touch somebody that you didn't even know.
Yeah.
So I think the things that we do with getting these people's stories out there to the community, there's a story for everybody on every Cage Titans card. And to be quite honest, on any promotion's card, whether they tell the story or not, that's on them. I think that's something that we do better than anybody. And it's something that we know at our core is important. And that's what we do a little differently. Sometimes people ask me, what's the secret sauce? And I don't really know how to answer that.
Hard work.
Sometimes these things seem white, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what the secret sauce is. That's one of the things.
Hard work and passion, bro. That has a lot to do with it right there. They never stop. Mike, you talk about, me with the podcast and like, do you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor, or is it on to the next? Like me, I get done with a show. If it's a great fucking show, I gloat for about 10 minutes and then I'm fucking on to the next one. Oh shit. Do you get to enjoy, what you create, or are you just on to the next thing? And all right, I did that. I made it. Like you hit a personal goal. You got that shit up and blah, blah, blah. All right, it's on to the next.
Andy will answer.
All right, go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, we're pretty on to the next for sure. Mike doesn't really sleep for a few days. There's a few of us that don't really sleep for a few days leading into an event, and you would think that the amount of energy that's exuded from that would put anybody to bed after an event. But no, Mike gets to wind down and relax, drinking another Monster and whatever the hell gets thrown his way until the sun comes up the next day. Believe it or not, he's still up and going to a point where, on more than one or two occasions, he's had to be carried back because he just lets loose that much where it's like, finally you get the wind down. It's a crazy after party after the show. You show up at Tavern on the Wharf, but sometimes it don't just end there.
Yeah.
It keeps on going, and that's when we all really get to wind down and enjoy our successes, but also simultaneously, immediately, right then and there, when we're enjoying our successes and anything that went well and all the fights that delivered, we're immediately curtailing and piggyback and trying to find out what we can improve upon and do better for the next show. It's almost immediate. So yeah, there's a time to wind down, but even during that wind down time, which ends when the sun comes up, there's still brainstorming and progression occurring of like, oh yeah, that was perfect. We're all happy with each other, but here's what we can do better. So
Well, that
it's a weird way.
a lot of that happened on Cage Table Titans yesterday because you already got matchups going. People are on your. I know you shut your phone off for a day or two, Mike, after the fights. You got to wind down a little bit, rest. Your wife, I know your wife is at the shows with you, but I mean, you got a huge family there, so you gotta settle down a little bit for a couple of days. But you guys are right back on it. You're getting matchups, Table Titans. You talked about is Joe Giannetti fighting Trevor Goody? Is that still
Yes.
So that's for the.
Yes.
I mean, you guys already are brainstorming this
That'll be a good
shit.
one.
Like, was that fight made from the last card or some chatter
Yeah.
going on from that card?
Yeah. Andy touched on a couple things before I answer that question. Like, and it's so true. Like, we are. This is it. Like, when you look at Cage Signs, there's no secret man behind the curtains. You see it. What you see is what you get. You talk about settling down. It's like we have the after party, and then it's like I don't settle down, and Andy probably doesn't settle down until the last fighter is on the airplane on Sunday. And I've had events 3 shows ago where the whole entire Fusion Excel, all the planes got grounded in Boston, and I was stuck with Jay Ellis and 3 fighters from Fusion for 3 extra days, and it didn't end. So. But then usually it's like a day or two where it's immediate. Like, people are in my inbox and it's like, hey, listen, what's going on next? And I do my best to try to take a day or two. And Andy and I will probably go a day without talking. But right after that, it's right back to work and it's talking to the team and seeing what we can do. I usually pull the whole I don't have my phone on because I usually don't. But I'll sporadically. My wife says that all the time. She's like, I always hear how you say you shut off your phone. I'm like, I'll say this. I don't necessarily shut it off, but once it dies, I don't charge it. And I just let it go. And, so if you catch me while I have my phone on, you might get the answer. But that's fine. Andy knows what's up. Anyways, the Trevor Goody, the fight versus Joe Giannetti is simple. I know that Joe's got some slack and they're like, oh, easy fights and things like that. When his opponent pulled out for the second show in a row the week before the event, Joe's like, I've been out at AKA training with Khabib and Usman and all these killers out at AKA. Like, I can't go another fight camp without the payoff of a fight. I can't afford it. I need the fights for my career. Like, yes, the answer is yes, Mike. Just come back to me with somebody who also said yes. Immediately, Trevor Goody's name came up, and Trevor really wanted this fight. But I respect the shit out of Trevor because though this might have been best for his MMA career to take that fight on July 2nd against Joe, it probably wasn't best for him outside of this. He has a summer camp that he runs back home that's near and dear to his heart and hasn't got off the ground since COVID. And this was going to be the first year it got off the ground. And he had a huge meeting the week of July 2nd, and we had like 10 member camp counselors and everybody flying in that, to talk about, like, if we don't pull it off this year, we'll probably never get this camp back off the ground. So I respect the shit out of it. He couldn't take the fight. And he said, you know what? If Joe is willing to do it in August, I'm down for August. And I kind of just thought Joe took the fight or said he would do 170 because he was out of options and was a week away, and he's like, screw it, I got to fight. So I said to Eric Grossman, his coach, I said, yeah, you know what? If it happens, it happens, but I have a feeling Joe's going to stick at 55, so it might not happen. Maybe it's just not in the cards. There were a few other names that got thrown out there, and every one of them, Joe said yes, and for whatever reason, the other people said no. At the end of the day, Marcus Andruzia answered the call. And before that fight even happened, Joe came back to me and was like, is Trevor still in for August? And I was like, oh, do you really want to do that? He's like, yeah, if he'll do it next show, I'm in. I want to know that I have it locked and loaded. And we were actually going to announce it on fight night. But in the hustle and bustle, it just kind of slipped through the cracks. But, that fight was made. the week before. And then there was like 3 messages from Giannetti, like, it's on, right? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I told you it's confirmed. He's like, is it on? I'm like, yeah, it's confirmed. Like, he was nervous that Trevor
paranoid.
was gonna
That's
either
a
say no after the fact.
that's a
But that
great
fight was 100% locked in. And it's going to be a great headliner.
dude. That's a fucking awesome fight
Can't
right
wait for
there,
that one.
man. That's a unpredictable. I don't know what's gonna. I mean, that's a great matchup there. Congratulations getting that fucking thing done. And it's at 170 pounds. Is that what we're shooting for the title?
Yeah,
Or is that...
Joe's gonna go for the champ status at 170. He's gonna take a page out of Billy Goff's book and try to get 2 different weight classes. And he's gonna go up and listen, let's not beat around the bush. Joe's fought at 55 where he won the title from Darius Extel, then he missed weight in his next fight against his defense against Bone. This fight was at 65. Joe can make 55. It was just a matter. He's like, listen, I'll do 70. I'm a big guy as it is, and he's down, and he loves the opportunity to be able to grab a second belt. As for Trevor, we've actually talked a little bit about Trevor. Trevor actually challenged Billy Goff. Speaking of Goff, when Goff won the belt, Trevor wanted to fight Goff, and I pitched the fight to Goff, I think after he won the CES title, and then he was kind of sitting on the sidelines, kind of waiting out some things. Then I pitched it again, and it was kind of like, all right, let's get Trevor get another win before, because Billy, like, dude, his career trajectory was amazing. Like, he like, as great as Trevor is, and I don't think he meant it disrespectful. He was like, well, Trevor's 4-2. Like, I want upper echelon, like he's fighting Justin Sumter, like Boleto, like Lally, guys like that, like undefeated Marty Navis. Like, and I don't think that he was meaning to be a dick, but he just kind of was like, why don't you get Trevor another win before I come back and fight him? And then he got picked up by the Contender Series. So Trevor's been looking for this belt shot, and it just makes a ton of sense. Joe actually offered to fight Marty Navis for the belt back in the day. So like, this is something that's kind of been brewing.
Okay.
And it just made sense, and here we go, man. August 27th is gonna be a fun one.
I can't fucking wait.
Hey, dude,
man.
that's gonna be a
great
fan favorite.
fight, man. I
Yeah.
can't wait to lead ups, and I mean, they're cordial together, right? Joe and Trevor, are they no friction between them two guys, right?
No.
Oh, so it should be a cool lead up, a very respectful one. They both get a great training camp, prepare for each other. So I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, and it's great. Like, these are 2 guys that are cage titans through and through. And
We lost him again, boss.
No, he's there.
No, I'm here. We're here.
These guys are both cage titans through and through. Like, and I love the fact, like, when you said congratulations for getting it done, I'll be 100% honest with you. Neither guy, like, I didn't do anything to get it done, and that's something that a lot of people, like, like, when they're like, oh, how does Cage Titans do it? It's like, do you want to know right now? Trevor Goody doesn't even know what he's getting paid. He didn't even ask what he's getting paid for this fight. No contract signed. This is what we're about.
Handshake.
This is like, shake hands. You want this fight. I want this fight. They know I treat them right. They know that they're going to get paid their worth and all that stuff. Like, so, like, I didn't get anything done. I mean, I guess over the course of 12 years in camaraderie, in the good nature we've built over 12 years has got it done. But, I saw people trying to get Joe Giannetti to fight for him. It's like, he's not under contract with me. He doesn't have to fight for us. Just like Trevor Goody doesn't. We're handshake guys virtually, because we don't meet in person. But I didn't really get anything done. It was like, hey, you want to fight him? Cool, let's do it. And on fight night, I'll give him a check, and 9.9 times out of 10, they're like, oh, thanks, man. Like, wow. I remember when Joe Giannetti fought his first fight after the Ultimate Fighter, he was like, oh shit, man. He's like, thanks for the check. He's like, I didn't know what I was getting paid. And he's like, I had no worries. I didn't think that you were going to screw me, and I'm actually happy. And I was like, you can give some of that money back.
Donate it back.
It really is what Cage Titans is about. It's about the community, and it's about these fighters. It's nothing extra special that we do. I'm not blowing these guys away with, like, boatload trucks of money and or anything. I treat them like I would have wanted to be treated when I fought. That's simple. And so I appreciate you saying good job on getting it done. It wasn't that hard.
Well, I mean, we're like 5 weeks out. You got to keep it done, Mike. You got to keep it done for 5 weeks. So you're going to be doing a lot of work. You're going to be doing a lot of promoting for it. It's a big, huge New England fight. It's going to blow the roof off Plymouth Memorial Hall. Not that past main events like your last one with Bone and Peter didn't, but you got Joe Giannetti against Trevor Goody, man. That's a very intriguing matchup, and man, that's going to be some fucking fireworks as far as fan base in that place.
That place is
How
always
does that
jamming.
fight play out as well? Like Joe's a grappler, Trevor's a grappler. Joe's a really tall, lanky, long fighter, but at 55, there's no one taller and lankier than 6'7" Trevor Goody. Like
Yeah, the thing that might be a different. I don't know how much weight Trevor cuts to get to 170. I mean, Joe's not going to have to cut too much to get to 170. So I don't know if that'll play a factor. I mean, Trevor seems to never have a problem making 170s. Never, talking to him, never have issues with his weight. Always seems strong in there. So, but I think that might be the only thing that Joe gets to, not have to cut as much because he's going up and Trevor's staying exactly where he is. But it could work benefit for either one. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a great fight because you really don't know. Like the odds makers, obviously there's no odds makers. It's an interesting matchup for many of reasons. And when a guy like Trevor, like why is he taking this fight? Simple. He's I think he's 31 years old. He knows that clock is ticking and he needs a big name. Why he wanted to fight Billy Goff. He wants a big name on there to be like, all right, I don't have time to dick around and take lower level fights to puff up my record, to inflate it and spend 3 years on the local scene. Because by then, if I get to 9-2, I'm friggin' 36 years old, 35 years old. I don't have that time. I need to make a splash now. And that's kind of what Billy Goff did. But Billy Goff is much younger. But that's where Trevor's at. As for Joe, he's 26 years old. He's 27. He just turned 27. He's 12-4. He's been to the dance. He wants to get back there. He still has plenty of time. But why does he take this fight up a weight class? Well, maybe there's something that he sees in Trevor that he thinks he can exploit. Maybe he thinks the prestige of holding two belts, and Conor McGregor talked about it. I want the visual of two belts on my shoulders sitting on top of the cage. Maybe he thinks that is the visual that will propel him back to the next level. There's just so many angles why this fight and why both guys took it, but I'm happy they did, and may the best man win either way.
Excellent. Yeah, it's a great fight. There's no favorite in this fight as far as me. It's just a great matchup. I want to see them what they do to each other in there. I mean, Joe went against Bone, who's a tall guy, but he isn't Trevor. I mean, Trevor is he's I don't want to say a freak of nature, but he is something.
That is.
He kind of is. All right, the boss says
Got that reach.
It's just fucking crazy how he makes 170.
He's also very skilled, man.
Yeah.
He's dangerous everywhere the fight goes. His submission game is great. He caters towards his build, but he's dangerous no matter where the fight goes. And I think that's a big step up for Giannetti, who's given up the length and the reach advantage that he's so accustomed to have and jumping up a weight class against Trevor Goody. So he's going to have a totally different slew of obstacles to overcome, which is what makes it such an exciting fight. Even though we're all fans of both guys, we've seen both of them grow up and develop on the local scene. Nobody wants to see either of these guys taken out on their route to greatness, but it's a fight that both guys think makes sense to propel them to the next level in their career, and I agree with both of them, thinking that that's the test that they both need to pass to see who's ready for the next level. I love it. And Joe's really kicked up his aggression and his intensity in his fights, but Trevor Goody's a really slick counterpuncher who uses his length just as effectively in the stand-up game as he does in the ground game. So I think it's a puzzle piece for both guys to solve. Both guys are finishers who like to put their opponents away. And August 27th, we're going to find out who does better at 170 pounds there.
Dude, that
Boom.
was fucking perfect. Mike, you got to use that on like a fucking promo fucking video. What he just said, that was
Listen,
fucking that was fabulous.
Andy crushes it every time, man. You know, he no script, nothing, just boom, right off the top of the head. And
That's
you know
the
what
guy.
I love about this fight too, and it's think about it. These are two Cage Titans guys. Trevor, all his amateur fights with Cage Titans, former amateur Cage Titans champion, now fighting for a title. Joe, all but 2 of his amateur fights with us, Cage Titans amateur champion. Then all his pro fights before he went to the UFC with us. Now he's a champion again in the pro ranks. First guy to hold the 55-pound amateur title and pro title. First guy to do that. Here's Trevor's going to try to do it in the 170-pound division. First guy to hold the 70-pound title as an amateur and now as a pro. So I love it. You know, it's kind of like two of your kids fighting. But at the end of the day, you know, Andy said to me, and he reminded me when he fought Adam Russell, and I said, I don't want to read the winner because you're both, you know, you're both winners for this match, because I had my DJ and my ring announcer who've been together with me for so long. I said that fight was more important than who won. It was symbolic of something else. Andy reminds me every time. I say it all the time. It's like there's a winner and there's a loser when the cage door closes. So though I'm going to be not happy to see one of them lose because they're both like our kids because they grew up with us. Somebody's got to lose and somebody's got to win. And we'll see on August 27th.
Well, Mike,
like you mentioned, there's no real animosity, at least in my knowledge, between these two guys. They're both have a lot of mutual respect for each other and respect each other as formidable opponents. And that's as a fan, from my own perspective.
Absolutely.
Those fights are the money fights. I don't need no shit talk in between. I need two guys that know they're that good, and they got to pick somebody who's also that good to see who's the best. And that's what I love about this fight. I got a lot of respect for both of them as men, both of them as fighters. Much like you, Mike. They're not my kids, but hey, I don't feel like they're my kids. I'm watching my kids fight, but I feel like I'm watching my brothers fight. And I'm just like, they're going to deke it out, and one of them's going to win, one of them's going to lose. But yeah,
I will say Joe seems to be taking the stance of this is my house. Cage Titans is my house. And I don't think necessarily he's throwing digs, but I think that's the angle. If you see some of his posts in the last couple of days, like, Cage Titans is my house, and no one's coming in there. Which, it's funny because Trevor's fought there, 10 times too. But I think Joe's taking that stance that this is my house, and that's the stance he's taken. Trevor has long taken the stance, I feel, because he's more soft-spoken in the social media presence, like, don't forget about me. I'm still here. Mm-hmm. That was a lot of his lead up to his last fight with us, like, oh, you guys must have forgot about me. And I don't think you can really forget about a 6'7" guy with a big mullet. But, that's his stance. Like, hey, I might be quiet. I might not be outspoken. I might not be brash. I might not be all over social media, but I'm still here, too. I was undefeated amateur as Cage Titans champion, defending my title. I'm here as well, so don't forget about me. And I think that could be the story of this fight. Joe is a little bit more out there and in social media and braggart to, not in a negative way, but a braggart, like, this is my house, much more social media savvy and present and in your face. And Trevor's the kind of guy that's like, well, don't forget about me. Like, and that's probably going to be the story of this fight. Not like, hey, you suck.
Yeah, no, that's a great storyline right there. And I'm sure, Joe, it is his house. I mean, he wins another title there. He owns that house right there. I'm sure the camaraderie and after the fight will be incredible, just like Joe with Bone and Bone with Peter after 2 great wars, man. Always happens in that Cage Titans cage. Fighters become friends after wars, and there's so many to talk about. But last couple of things, Mike, man. August 27th. I know you got matchups working. You talked about Mr. Smythe and Mopofo, and I'm sure you're gonna have some other fucking
Holy shit, what a fight that is.
What'd you think? What'd you think? What'd you think? Dude,
moving up a weight class, taking on the African assassin.
What'd you think? I forgot about that. That thing's been on the tip of my tongue, man. I mean, Tyler fucking, he's been doing great things. That kid is just a beast, a friggin' beast. And Mopufo, man, he's a sharpshooter. He's very, very, he's just well-rounded as a fight, very smart fighter. And we'll see what freaking happens with that fight.
Let's not forget, and I think that the story of this fight is, let's not forget that Arthur and Joe Poirier were teammates. And Joe Poirier has been pretty vocal about trying to rematch Tyler Smythe. And, Smythe and his team were kind of like, you know what, like, if it was a 5-round split decision, maybe we'd rematch him, but we finished him. So, like, we're not really into the rematch. Arthur, teammate of Joe Poirier. Now, all of a sudden, Smythe's trying to get a little bit of shine and grab that second belt. And a former teammate of Arthur, Joe Poirier, and Arthur Mapofu, he went to go for that champ status. He fell a little short in the decision. So now he can play spoilers to somebody that's trying to get the champ status.
He gets to defend against the champ status. The aspirations. I like it. I really like the fight.
Jesus,
that's a treat.
There's two fights right there that could be fucking that. I don't need to know any more right now.
I'm working on a few others.
Dude, I know you're working. I know you're friggin' working.
And Bruno versus Lionel. Can we get this going yet? These two guys were scheduled for June, and Lionel had to pull out July. Bruno had to pull out his third time the charm. I'm seeing a little back and forth. Bruno's all in. Lionel thinks that he's all a facade, and he pulled out on me last time. Screw him. He's gonna do it again to me. I don't know if they're posturing and positioning. Like, let's get it done. Like, that's a fight we got to see. Lionel and Bruno.
I got to see Bugs for a shot today.
Yeah, we got to see that fight.
You got to stop posting some comments and stuff that you're seeing out there. I'll go searching now that you got that in my ear.
Internet poll.
Yeah, because like Bruno said he's all in, and Lionel. I talked to Lionel's team today, and he's like, like they weren't okay with the pullout last time, and Bruno's of the stance of like, well, when you pulled out, I was respectful. I didn't say nothing. I said we'll do it next show. And now I pull out, and now you're trying to call me a bitch or whatever. Like, so there's a little something going on there, and I just want them both to fight. And I think it'd be a fun fight to promote. They both have asked for a rematch, which is with the party. That's a name we haven't talked about since February. They both want rematches, so we will.
I like it. The winner gets it.
I mean, the winner gets it. So if they want to fight the party, like, that's the fight we have to have. Bruno already fought Cupcakes, who's another guy who's standing right near the division. I don't think Lionel and Cupcakes would fight each other. Party and Cupcakes won't fight each other. So, like, the fight at bantamweight in New England right now has to be Bruno versus Lionel.
So that
there are other bantamweights that I like out there, and I'm sure you might be thinking of them. I'm just always respectful of other promotions. If they fight for other promotions, though many promotions hit up our guys.
Of course.
I will not reach out or try to pull those games.
But if they come to you and ask, you're very welcoming. Come on, we'll hook you up.
Know the platform. You know what I love? Maybe this is the Fisher Island talk. But you know what I love? When promoters hit up when promoters hit up fighters who fight exclusively for Cage Titans and say, hey, how come you're XYZ record and no one knows who you are? You need to come fight for us so we can get your name out there. Does anybody see the problem with that? Number one, it's disrespectful. Number two, no one knows who they are. Why the hell did you just DM them, asking them to fight for your promotion? Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Awesome, my man.
I've been dying to say something about that.
Awesome.
Andy knows.
Mike,
well
we
said.
know. Mike, we know. Between promoters, there's a lot that goes. I mean, you guys are fighting for guys. I mean, I know you have your own people there. you're creating a product of really
Steve,
talent.
here's a
So they're
disclaimer
they're coming after your cattle, bro. What can I tell you?
Don't fight for fighters. Fight to elevate your promotion and the way you promote your fighters. Then you won't have to fight for them. They'll come to you. Don't pull these slimy promoter games and do that bullshit. Like, just do your job and do right by your fighters, and you won't have to slide into their DMs like some thirsty chick, and and pull those games. Like Andy's loving it, and this is but
that's what the room podcast is for. That's why we're live.
No, guest spot more often.
But it's just funny. It's like, hey, you're 9-2, and no one knows who you are. You're fighting over there in that small pond. You need to fight for us, and we'll blow you up. Well, somebody must know their name because you knew enough to DM them.
Meanwhile, there's people holding up fucking signs of their heads and shit like that. In the crowd, they're selling fucking hundreds of tickets.
Holy shit, does Steve know who I'm talking about?
50,000 Instagram followers.
The man knows his beans.
We might be a little spot on, but no one knows the guy, but people have fat heads in the stands with them on popsicle sticks.
Yeah.
50,000 Instagram followers.
I digress a little bit. But yeah, man, I'm not fighting over fighters. If you just do right and you do the right thing and you treat them properly, you don't have to do those type of things. They're going to stick with you because they know. Chael Sonnen had said it in one of his podcasts, like, the fighters who are going to like chase an extra $50 in their purse or whatever, like, those are the guys you don't want. Like, you want fighters that believe in your product, they believe in your platform, and they believe that you can get them where they want to go. That's what you need in a promoter in a show. Do you believe that what they say they're going to do for you, they're going to deliver on? Are they going to promote you properly? I had a fighter come up to me not too long ago and say, hey, man, I thought this show was cool. It was all the bells and whistles and fancy lights. And they didn't even put a single post up about me as a fighter. And it's like, how do I sell tickets? How do I bring people in when the promotion I'm fighting for doesn't even talk about me? It's like, Jesus Christ, guys. Like, I told this story so many times till I'm blue in the face. I'm a little red because I've been doing yard work. But, my first fight, I got a yellow piece of construction paper with a Word document printed on it. And they're like, go sell tickets. And these fighters were just stuck with saying, buy tickets, buy tickets, buy tickets. And they were just doing it all themselves. They were just sales rep for the promotion. Like, what are you giving them as tools to help sell them and sell the fight? And, they don't have to whore themselves out by saying, buy tickets for me, buy tickets for me, buy tickets for me. They can put a poster up. They can put a quote banner up. They can put up a matchup banner. They can put up the fact that they're on the Room podcast or Table Titans or things like that. Like, give them the tool to help promote themselves. If your promotion isn't doing that for you, what are they actually doing for you? And if you're doing those things, they're not going to be looking over their shoulder what other promotions are doing and trying to go jump ship. And that's just the truth.
Well, the amount of fighters that come fight for you, Mike, what you said, the way you treat and the way they feel and the way you promote them, man, it's great. I mean, it makes you feel on cloud nine. You win a fight, and all of a sudden you're fucking videos all over Instagram, Facebook. I saw that the kid that knocked out Ben from your gym. He got like thousands and thousands and thousands of views from that, from that friggin' knockout.
Amateur debut for him too.
It sucks that there's someone else on the end of that knockout, but it could have been the other way around, and you're gonna get that, So that's kind of this. But you see,
that's a hard thing. You brought up a great point. That's a hard thing that some of the fighters, it's hard for them to understand. I did have, in the course of Cage Titans, I've had, I think, 2 fighters who asked me to take down a highlight clip, and because they were on the receiving end, and I said, unfortunately, that just wouldn't be fair, because then I'd have to take down every highlight clip that you have that you've done over somebody else. The phrase, sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. Ben Bracco, amazing guy, super nice, super professional. First one there at weigh-ins, on time, on weight, all this stuff. Great guy.
Super tough.
Unfortunately, he was the nail that night. And you know what? If he comes back and he's spinning friggin' heel kick somebody, because I know he has a long sense of karate background, guess what? We're going to plaster the shit out of that highlight, and we're going to get him 1 million views. You know, it sucks when you're on the other side of it, but we have an obligation to every fighter that we have to put their best foot forward. You know, I remember the one fight in particular, the guy, he was a hometown guy. He's like, why are you promoting the out-of-stater by, you know, putting my face and getting knocked out? And it's like, listen, man, you've knocked people out too, and I had to put them out there. And it is what it is. So, yeah, you know, we try to get those guys the most exposure we can. I did social media for a long time. For us, Nick and Nick Heiler, who has been taking over for the last few months, since we've returned from COVID, great job capturing it. And you know, in the early days, Nick was a homer, but I broke him of that. Andy and I, it's like, listen, Nick, you can't be a homer with Cage Titans. You know, there's no A side and B side. Everybody's the A side in Cage Titans. You know, you post, and Andy and I have actually had these conversations. Like, you post once about all 32 fighters, and then you return back to the top of the list.
Nice.
Post twice about all 32 fighters, go back to the top of the list. The only time you don't see that happen, and I try to express this to the fighters, if they've never fought before, there's nothing for us to really post unless they're getting clips of themselves in the gym. And if you tag us and we were aware of it, we'll get it out there. But for the most part, we do our best to give every side of the card is the A side, no matter what side you're on. And we want to give everybody equal exposure. Same reason why when we do a press conference, we're not rolling the press conference with just the hometown guys. If both the out-of-towner and the hometown guy can't be there, then we won't do the press conference, or we won't have the guys there. That it's just that simple. Both sides are equally important in this sport, especially within Cage Titans. So it's either both or none.
Perfect, my guys. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Mike's talked a lot, so Andy, I'm gonna give you the floor first. Anything you want to say? Anything anything you want to say before I let you go? I know you guys had a long night yesterday, and I appreciate you guys for coming on tonight and giving me some time. It's been a while since we caught up, and I had a fabulous time fucking talking to you guys. I know, Mike, I don't get to talk to you much at the shows because you're sweating like a fucking marathon runner, and then you're running around making sure everything's working perfect. So it's great to get, recap with you again and, get back on the path of, having some conversations with you about, what's going on. So, Andy, stop, Mike. You can say thank you after. Andy, anything you want to say before I hand it over to the boss?
Nah, man, nothing. Just we had a long night last night, but that's what we do it for. We love this shit. Love the fight game, everything about it, everything that goes on in the background that people don't get to see, and the community that has kind of built up around it all. I love the involvement. I love running into you when you're coming to cover our events, or if I'm running into you at any other event. I see you at CES. I'll probably see you up at Combat Zone. I got my teammate Little B fighting up there and next month. So it's a whole community. So it's great to see you last event, and just thanks for having us on. It's not too often we get to be really presented as guests. Wish you could have been there in person. Definitely want to get back down there in person before the next Cage Titans. Smoke a little weed with you.
Hey!
You definitely don't want him there tonight, because this kid was hacking up a lot.
Well, that's right. Hey, Mike, before I let you take the floor and send us out of here, I did say to Tommy, he goes, Tommy thought Andy was coming tonight. I said, to tell you the truth, Tommy, I watched Table Titans last night, and Andy was fucking hacking, sneezing all over the place. I don't know if I want him in here. And then, Andy, you just, out of the blue, you say, hey, dude, I'm not feeling the greatest. Can I call in? I was like, fuck.
I'm good. Like, I'm not sneezing and hacking tonight. We're doing better, but it's...
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, you don't want to have to drive for fucking a couple hours and shit like that. You're at home. You can go fucking do what you want.
It wasn't COVID.
I'm good.
Andy last night was like bad.
Yeah,
Yo,
dude.
You fucking Mike when you.
Yeah, I watched the show, Mike. You were yelling at him the whole fucking show. It was awesome.
Sneeze button, like the old baseball commentators. You like the sneeze button.
It was awesome. With that said, Mike, man, fabulous talking to you, bro. Send us out anything you want to say. When tickets go on sale, all that other shit for the 27th.
Yeah, so I'm actually in the middle of deciding between two different poster designs. So I'm hoping over the weekend I'll narrow it down, and our team is getting all the photos out. So usually what I do, I got two poster designs in mind, and I'll look for inspiration from the photos from the last show. So over the weekend, I'm hoping to finalize the design. Tickets hopefully on sale by Monday. I think we're 6 weeks out now, so this is about a good time to put the tickets on sale. So that's going on. Killer Cam Arnold is fighting Mike Taylor. That's another fight we haven't announced yet.
Wow, that's a fucking banger. Mike's fucking a stand-up dude too. Holy shit.
Yeah, Mike loves to stand and bang, and he said that. He's like, I don't want somebody that's going to try to hump my legs and take me down. And if you remember his fight with Jacobo,
Yeah.
Mike Taylor can crack.
Yeah.
You know, and Cam, we saw Cam in his debut. We've seen him in his fights in Maine. This kid can crack as well, so that's going to be a banger of a fight. But overall, yeah, man, we're narrowing down the poster designs. I got two in mind. We'll releasing that probably Monday. Then we're just gonna start the hype train. We're gonna start. They say like to put the machine behind the fight card. We're ready. We're positioning the machine, and we're about to get the hype machine rolling. August 27th. I got a bunch of great names that I've been getting in the last 2 days. For fighters. Brandon Battles is back. We're narrowing down his opponent. I have a fight offer out there now. KK, the meat grinder's back.
Nice.
Then we have, Mike Antidormi is going to be back. We're narrowing down between two fighters. The hope is Valdina will be back. Jadoffer.
Wow, shush.
The Leighton twins. The Leighton twins are coming back.
Wow.
They haven't been fighting for us for a while, but both Brett and Brandon Leighton will be on this card. So yeah, man, we got some good things that I'm working on. But overall, tickets will be on sale by Monday. Posts will be dropping by Monday. We'll be dropping the matchup cards. And we just appreciate all the support from everybody. And where we are, Cage Titans. I always say this. This isn't a marketing slogan. This is truly who we are to our core. If you have any suggestions or thoughts or anything like that, we're always an open door. Throw them our way. If it's a way to raise our bar a little bit, we'll take it to heart and we'll see what we can do with it. So August 27th, follow us on all our social media platforms, all that stuff. We're at Cage Titans across the board: TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those good things. And last but not least, because I'm full of all kinds of fucking.
I was going to say, when you tell Michael,
I know
wrap it up, you're going to tell him that at the beginning of the podcast. It might be out of time.
Well, I had a meeting today with somebody, and they're like, "Holy shit, you love the talk." I go, "I just love this sport and what we do." I'll tell you right now, Steve. It's 10:15. I would talk until 10:15 tomorrow morning about the sport. And I would never lie.
Well, Andy, he probably is. He's probably got like 17 messages he's got to answer when he gets off the show. All this other shit going.
My phone's at 8%. I literally don't got that long.
This is his first podcast of the night.
My last piece is, there's certain people in this sport, and we support the fighters in the sport. And Andy has really been trying to take off his comedy career. And he has a comedy event coming up in a few weeks. And I would love for everybody, it's at Main Street Sports down here in Plymouth, Mass. It's only a few blocks from Memorial Hall. Adam Russell, our DJ, who supports all of our fighters. It's his bar. He supports all you fighters by playing your music and hyping you up when you walk out. So it's his place. It's our ring announcer and commentator, Andy, hosting the comedy night. I would love it if anybody and everybody could come out. Just like these two guys support you in your fight careers. I would love it to see that our fight community comes out in droves and supports these guys. And aspect of their life that they're very passionate about. Andy in the comedy game and Adam at Main Street Sports. So let's bring it out. Let's show up as Cage Titans and show some support. Andy's got a great comedy night planned. He did one a month or so ago at Coops at my restaurant, and it was a huge success. And it was cool to see like Chris Motino, Aaron Hughes, a former Cage Titans commentator from a couple shows ago, Justin Simmons was there. So it was really cool to see. Who was the other fighter that was there? Danilo was there. So it was like really cool to see some Cage Titans faces out supporting Andy and something he's doing outside the fight world. He supports you guys with his whole heart.
Posters going to be dropping.
The post is going to be dropping probably hopefully tomorrow, but he supports you guys with such enthusiasm and passion. The way he announces you guys, the way he commentates your fights and breaks them down. I'd love it to see if you guys, I see a lot of faces come out for the comedy night. Andy, give him the date and the details.
July 28th, Thursday evening, Main Street Sports Bar and Grill. We got a hell of a lineup. I've got 5 comedians on, a couple others possibly guest spotting. It's going to be a great little showcase. Everybody's doing 5 to 7 minutes with a couple of guys at the top of the list doing 15 to 20. It's going to be a great show. Like you said, Coops, great lineup, great comedians. If I could try to promote fights with half as much effectiveness as I promote, try to promote comedy with half as much effectiveness as I promote fights. So we're going to see where it takes us. It's going to be a good time. Come grab a couple beers, support Main Street Sports Bar and Grill, and support some other obscure artists, martial arts and comedic arts. It's all the punch faces and punch lines. That's what I like to do.
Excellent, my man.
Adam is a buddy of mine, so watching you guys punch and kick each other that last card, that was pretty amazing.
Oh, so how do you know Adam?
So we know each other. We know each other from the weed game. I used to work at Ermont and Quincy. And yeah, so he would always come out there, and Adam's a proponent for that. I don't even think he does anymore, but he was always.
No, he does. He actually doesn't.
Yeah.
Elevated. He used to have. I think he used to do.
Elevated elbows, I think.
Yeah, that was it. Elevated.
Yeah. I've had plenty of those Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
like even before we fought, Adam and I, we've always been friends, always been friendly. So it was cool. We threw down, put on a show, and now it's like
that was great.
Now you're going
a couple shows later, we're working alongside each other. Let's get a comedy night going there. So
and now you're going to heckle him from the stage. So it's fucking awesome.
No, he got me into the door at Cage Titans the first few times I was there, and I was hooked. This is about 5 years ago, before I was even training, before I know anyone. And now the guys who I was watching when I first went there are training me and kicking my ass every day. So it's come full circle.
Hey, one last thing, Mike, before I let you guys go. Tommy mentioned something about, when you guys are looking for camera people to do some stuff. I know you put an ad out there like a week or so before the event that you need people. Tommy's at your disposal. He wants to get into holding the camera or whatever the fuck you need from him.
Yep, I've got in touch with you guys a couple of times. It hasn't really worked out at the end, but I keep posting it, and I'll always try to get in there if it's able.
Yeah, man. We actually are. We had a little shortcoming, and I said like we're on this martial art journey within Cage Titans. We had some shortcomings with our stream. We couldn't get the pay-per-view up. Steve, I just sent you a poster. I'd love it if you threw it up.
All right.
But that's not the final one. There's some corrections that are getting made to that.
Let's throw it up anyway. It's a cool one.
All right. The boss says throw it up. I'm throwing it fucking up.
I'm right.
Fair enough.
If there's spelling errors, who cares? I didn't make it, but we're actually looking to.
We're going to wrap this up, boss. The phone is going to die.
Jesus.
All right. Well, good. Anyway, this is important. You do a lot for the fight community, and I want to be able to get the word out here about your comedy night because I want to see you be successful. But anyways, Tommy, we're overhauling our broadcast, so I will definitely put you in touch. I had a great meeting this morning with a production company that is potentially taking over and going to kind of take us to some new levels with our production. So for August 27th, so I will 100% keep you in the loop because we're going to kind of do some sort of collaboration because we have a lot of people that are part of that Cage Titans community that want to be camera operators. So like part of it was like I don't want you to just come in and overhaul it. Like we have a lot of willing and able bodies that are passionate about the sport. So if we can integrate them into your staff, so I will definitely reach out in the near future.
Sweet.
Excellent. All right, Mike, I'm going to shut you down because, Andy's got 2% on his phone.
Did you put up the post up?
Huh? Oh, you want me to put it? I can't put it up. You threw it on this page.
They don't get the same improvisation skills as we do, Michael.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't retrieve it while I got you on here because I got to shut you guys up.
All right, fine.
Tomorrow, don't worry.
Yeah.
On social media, you can take it to the bank. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it out like the plague once.
We'll get it on our
send
Steve,
it out.
my last interview question for you. I want to interview you.
Oh my
What
God.
is your goal? What is your goal for 2022? What would be your biggest aspiration that you would like to see happen before the end of the year?
Good question.
Wow. What I would like to do. I would just like to see the podcast keep rolling. I would like to get more fighters in here in a more intimate when they're in here, they kind of open up a little more than on the phone because they're in person stuff. My goal is to make this a fully functional, at fighters' disposal to come in here and kind of like just
Open
be
platform.
themselves. I'm trying to make it catered to, 3 or 4 fighters that can come in here, a team, so we can, just promote just not one fighter, the whole team. So that's what this is. And that's what I've been really working on is to get this thing going, and get all the kinks out so I could just throw out interviews and just, press a button and basically the shit's done for me at that point. You know what I mean? I would love to get a producer in here that presses all those buttons and does that for me. But for someone to commit to that once a week, every week, it's a kind of hard thing for someone to do. You know what I mean? And I'm not easy to work for because I'd probably be screaming them at the corner that they fucked up and everything else.
Come on, you're good.
You know.
Phone's dead, guys.
All right. So with that said, Mike.
Later, Andy.
I appreciate you, Andy. I appreciate you for coming on. Mike, Andy, send me that poster tomorrow. Tag me or throw it at me, and I'll throw it on all our social media and shit. And I definitely will be there at the show. I'll try to find a date or two to bring with me. So
hey, right there.
Come.
Yeah, right there.
Well, yeah, Tommy definitely will come.
I'm handsome.
We can have a road trip, or he can take his wife or whatever. Andy just died. So, Mike, we're going to leave it off with you. Cage Titans social media. How do we get in touch? How do we see shit? Just throw it out there.
At Cage Titans, man, across the board. It's pretty simple. It's an important piece that also I want to say to the fighters, make sure all your social media matches. That was one thing that I've talked to a lot of fighters personally about, make sure it matches, because the worst thing you need is all right, I'm on Facebook. Johnny Cupcakes was actually one of the first fighters I talked to him about that. Is he was Johnny CC.
Yeah.
On one thing, he was domestic primate on something. It's you got to get your brand across the board. So at Cage Titans across the board, and follow us on our social media, and we'll keep the date on all the cool stuff. You know me, I'll keep talking, so I'm shutting myself off.
All right. Hey, Mike, one last thing to you. What the hell is that? One last thing to you. Mention to the fighters, if there's a new fighter coming aboard or something like that, let them know my contact number, because I'd love to interview, these fighters leading up to the show. Not necessarily coming down here, but, I could get them on
That too.
videoed in, and, I'd like to blow it up. I mean, and
yeah,
stuff
so
like that.
what I'll do with Steve is every show I put a group together. Back in the day, we used to be able to do big 40-member group messages on Facebook, but they've since cut that. So what I do is every show I put together a fighter and coaches group, a private group. I can add you to that, where you can just access the fighters and say, hey, here's a link. I would love you to call in, and then they can kind of funnel. And it's I would call it a safe space. If I invite you into that group and put you in there, if they have you posting in there, asking people for interview, they might feel a little bit more comfortable instead of cold calling you. Or cold emailing you,
one last thing. It's because there's so many fighters out there. If they want to if they want an interview, I want them to contact me. You know what I mean? It's hard to get in touch with all these guys and stuff like that. But if they get in touch with me, man, I'll have them on that day or the next day. Usually it's that quick.
And that's something the ease of working with you. I think that's something the fighters a lot of times. One of the hesitancies I've found with the fighters is they'll say to me I'm an 0-0 amateur. Who the hell wants to talk to me? And they don't really understand. So they have some hesitancy themselves. And then early in their career, they're they kind of like, oh, I'm egotistical if I go do interviews and post interviews. So there's like a learning curve to kind of get over that hump. And then eventually after a couple fights, they realize, hey, I should be doing these interviews. So if you were able to, join that group and throw some things out there, and I'll kind of throw some love back your way and be like, guys, do an interview with this guy. He'll interview every single one of you. If you hit him up, don't be shy. If you're an 0-0, come out and tell your story. If you're a guy that's fought on the UFC and you're trying to get back, come tell your story. He doesn't discriminate. He doesn't care. We want you all. We want everybody on there, and maybe that will help you funnel some guys to you to get them some exposure.
Awesome, Mike. Well, Mike, again, I appreciate you coming on. And, man, I'll see you soon. I'll be talking to you soon. And, a lot of shit going on. But, man, congratulations on everything. Evolving, as always. Great show. Love the crew. And glad I got to catch up with you, man. It's been a while, my man.
Yeah, man. It's so crazy. You said it. Like at the fights, we're running around like animals. Like it's no time to have casual conversation. And it's nice you caught me out so far in advance of the show. It's 6 weeks. Like I'm not looking over my shoulder. I'm not looking at my inbox right now being like, I got 6 other things that I got to do. Like I can actually enjoy having a conversation. And as you know, I love to talk.
All right, my man. Mike, hang up. And I'm going to say bye to Tommy. But I appreciate you, man. You have a good night, bro. And I'll see you real soon.
You as well. Thank you, Tommy.
You too.
I better see you at Main Street as well.
Definitely,
now
man.
Now that I know Adam.
Exactly. That sounds like a great time. So we'll definitely be there.
And we'll have some Cage Titans IPAs, even though I don't drink those.
Cheers, man.
Awesome, my man.
I don't drink this.
All right, Mike, you have a great night, man. Appreciate you.
Later, guys.
Later.
Thank you so much.
Later,
Bye.
That was fucking awesome. That was good, man.
Yeah, cool guys, man.
Oh,
cool guys.
fucking yeah. Great friggin' guys.
I'm passionate, man. I'm passionate about the game.
Man, that was long. Not that
that was good.
Not that I mind long.
No, it was good. My ass is kind of hurting, but
my God, fucking yeah, Mike Polvere, man.
Yep,
Forget it.
He's the guy. I mean, is there a better organization in the state? No.
No.
Right?
Just a promoter as far as what he does and how much he cares about him. I mean, it's something special they put on.
That venue is awesome too. It's fucking made for that.
Well, we got a lot of beans tonight, bro.
Yeah.
We got some matchups. We definitely got the main event
insider,
there.
some
bunch
hot
of names
takes.
getting thrown at us here. So I already
takes.
have names to contact and for interviews. So
Get them in there.
well, Tommy, I'm ready to get the fuck out of here. I'm out of beer.
It's been a long day for me.
You know what I mean? I want to smoke a joint and have my have a good night's sleep. I think I got one beer in my trunk.
Rattling around.
I limited myself to 3.
Yeah.
Well, I had 2. I might have.
I
one
usually
more.
bring like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
here,
that's good.
I'm not trying to bring 12.
Even when I go out, I think like if it's a 4-hour kind of go out, I'm like 6. Yeah. Like I'm done. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm done. I'm like I'm
especially if you're out.
I'm old, and then I smoke weed a little bit. That kind of elevates it a little bit.
That limits the drinking. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. With that said, anything you want to say, Tommy, before I let you go? Welcome back, man. We had last week off.
Yeah, we'll try to keep it going every week now.
Yeah.
I mean, the summer's tough, but every Wednesday seems legit.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if you can't make it in, I'll Skype you in. But I love you here, man.
It's been great, and I've been enjoying it.
I got to get another guy in here. Some fighters come on
we'll get
down,
some
man.
guys
we'll definitely do it. We'll definitely get this rolling.
If I went in and shook down some of my fighter guys, they would come in.
Yeah. Oh my God. Travel with you. Just jump in the chair.
Just come on right in after the class.
Let me dissect you over here. You all done? Anything you want to say?
Good.
All right. With that said, next week I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. What we're doing next Wednesday?
Smoking weed and drinking, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll talk a little bit. Maybe I'll have Sean Schubert on from Lion Fight, who had a fucking amazing knockout.
Was that spinning back fist? Yeah, that was real good.
Friday fucking at House of Blues.
I would love to talk to that kid.
So maybe I'll. Sometimes he comes down, but we'll have him call in. I know he's got a fighter fighting soon in New York, a young girl that fights for him.
In New York?
No, he's not a New Yorker, but it's a promotion that he gets. They help, they let his fighters fight, so he travels to New York with them. So it's really cool. So with that said, Tommy, man, great show tonight, bro.
I appreciate
Glad to have you back.
Beautiful thing.
And I'll be seeing you next Wednesday, bro.
Absolutely.
With that said, follow us, The Room Podcast, New England MMA. Just look for us on all social media. YouTube, join us on YouTube. Subscribe, share it to your friends, have them subscribe, because the more you subscribe, the more play it gets to the fighters. and helps everyone involved.
Add some comments too. Talk shit. Tell us what you don't like.
Yeah, fucking tell us what you want. Tell us what you don't want. Tell me to shut the fuck up, man.
Right.
Fucking, with that said, Tommy, we out.